Yes, finally. I haven't seen you for a few times. Okay, I think we're live.
Yeah.
Unmute.
Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Yeah, I can hear you well.
Okay. I feel there's still a bit of an echo. Okay. We look like we're live. We'll go ahead with the show. So hello, 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 and welcome to the Global Youth Mental Health Awareness Show, where we have open conversations with the youth about mental health. I am KATINDA, your host, author of The Big Comeback and founder of the Confidence and Self-Esteem Academy and one of Jim Herr's special board advisors. Now, in today's show, we are blessed to be in the presence of three amazing panelists. And our first panelist is Edith Wagner. Edith is a counseling psychologist, community development practitioner, Jim Herr's advocacy manager and ambassador. Hello and welcome to the show, Edith.
Thank you very much, Katinda.
And our second guest is Dr. Maxwell Chooks. Maxwell is a philosopher, writer, teacher, preacher, motivational speaker, and founder of Genuine Love and Family Forum, Inc. Hello and welcome to the show, Dr. Chooks.
Thank you very much.
And our third panelist is Yodia Fadili. She is an entrepreneur, Power Beauty Hairs. I think, hello and welcome to the show, Yodia, if you can hear me. Okay. So in our conversation today, our guests will be giving us some insights on dealing with panic attacks and depression during the pandemic. And before we dive deeper into the show, I'd love to know, how are we feeling today? Dr. Chooks.
From my own point of view, from my own end, everything is fine. So far, so good, despite the challenges that go with the pandemic.
Thank you. Edith, how are you feeling today?
I'm really feeling great, energized, and thankful for this day. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. So we know that life will never be the same again for everyone in the planet. And many people are challenged on a daily basis with coming to terms with what is actually going on. They say if it's not one thing, it's another. So it comes as no surprise that mental health and well-being is very important. And dealing with panic attacks and depression during the pandemic is what we're going to be talking about today. So Dr. Chooks, if you'd like to tell us, what are the similarities and differences between panic attacks and depression?
Depression is a common experience. It's caused by pressure or strain. And this pressure or strain comes from our day-to-day activities in life. It could be from experiences of our interactions, how we go about our relationships with other people. Maybe when we receive cold shoulders from our friends, can make us to have low feelings, low mood. If they are not managed very well, it can sink us down into depression. Misunderstanding in relationships and marriage, experiences like financial crisis, tussles with family care, teenage children could supply negative emotions that could affect our mental health, affect our feelings, and the way we interact with the world. So depression is something we encounter every day. It's not bad, it's part of the human nature. But when it persists, it takes a longer time to be addressed, it can become an illness. So depression becomes an illness when the mood state is severe, lasting for weeks or more, and interferes with our ability to function at home or at work.
Right. What
So
about
that's
panic
a
attack?
bit of, yeah, why panic attack, on the other hand, can be felt as a sudden episode of intense fear, stress, or anxiety, and physical symptoms based on a perceived threat rather than imminent danger. So it can be aroused by a seeming threat. It could be someone is thinking, I'm going to lose my mortgage, or my relationship is going down, or something bad is happening into my life. This can generate a perceived threat. If not well managed, can make someone to lose control of his emotions, sink into panic attack.
Thank you.
So that's a bit of difference between panic attack and depression.
Thank you. So, Edith, what would you like to add to that?
Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. What I'd say is a panic attack is an episode of intense fear. And when it happens multiple times, it causes a panic disorder. So panic attacks normally arise from overwhelming anxiety, and they can cause physical reactions such that a person may start feeling like they are sweating, they may start feeling uh, just intense fear, and they may feel like they are having a heart attack or they're threatened of death. So mainly people who experience panic attacks usually experience them even when there is no danger at all. So it can just happen from the blues even when there is no impending danger. And so panic attacks can be very severe, such that a person can feel nauseatic, physical symptoms, and they may even feel like they are about to die. So what I'd say about panic attacks is that these people feel that way because they are preoccupied with fear, probably because a traumatic experience that happened before, or maybe because of something that they went through that is causing them to be preoccupied with that kind of fear. Then, on the other hand, depression is a mood disorder, and it is a mood disorder that is characterized by feelings of hopelessness, helplessness, and meaninglessness. So a person may feel like they do not have hope in their lives. And so depression and panic attacks usually co-occur. It means that someone can be diagnosed with depression, and they can also be diagnosed with a panic attack at the same time. Or one can have depression, then a panic attack later, or vice versa. One can have a panic attack, then depression later. So both of them affect the mental health of a person. So that is the similarity between panic attacks and depression, is that they affect the mental health of a person.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, what are the factors that predisposes one panic attack and depression during the pandemic? Dr. Chooks.
There are so many factors that disposes an individual for panic attack and depression. There are so many ways in which a person can neglect self-care, and then depression will take over his mental health. Number one, panic attack can be caused, as I said earlier, by fear, anxiety, or shock. When a person has got something that triggers shock in him or her and is very unresolved, it goes on and on. It can lead to panic attack. It can cause depression in a person. Long-term frustration, sense of rejection or isolation, like everybody has been in quarantine, so many people have been isolated, and we have been in lockdown. There are so many people who have got nobody to speak to, nobody to interact or socialize with. They see themselves having a feeling of worthlessness, meaninglessness in their lives. That can cause to depression. It can trigger a sense of fear and rejection that can lead to panic attack as well. Then feelings of loneliness and guilt, especially people who have been into crime. There are so many times you see them, things they have done in the past, we begin to haunt them. We begin to create a deep sense of anxiety, fear, and anger, irritation in them that when they don't have anyone to discuss it, like mental health nurses or counselors, it can cause depression. Then we have, things like inability to manage our fears from challenges of relationship, could be finances, it could be tension at work. These are factors that can dispose someone to panic attack or anxiety or depression. And it can lead to reduced capacity to experience pleasure, hobbies and interests being dropped to a zero level or dropped off. It can lead to change in sexual drive. One becomes absent or experience uh, a reduced inclination to sexual drives. It can lead to low motivation or reduced motivation. Are you getting me?
Yes.
Okay. So these are some of the factors that can lead to or predisposes someone to panic attack or depression.
Thank you. Thank you. Edith, did you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, sure, Katinda. I could say that factors that predispose someone to anxiety or panic attacks and depression are like genetics. So if a person has a family member who has a mental illness or who experiences panic attacks or depression, they are likely to be affected. And then we have life experiences such as the loss of a loved one, a traumatic experience, or loss of a job will also predispose someone to experience depression and panic attacks. And then we have temperamental personality. Some people have a personality that is prone to negative feelings. So such kind of a personality or such kind of a person can be predisposed to experiencing depression and panic attacks. Then we have chemical imbalance in the brain. So when the brain is not functioning properly, a person would be predisposed to experiencing panic attacks. Then we have smoking or taking excessive caffeine. We know that caffeine is a stimulant, so it stimulates the nervous system, and also smoking. So if people who smoke a lot or take a lot of caffeine, they are likely to face anxiety symptoms, which could lead to, and also a depressed mood. So it could lead to panic attacks and depression. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. And how do we handle panic attacks and depression during the pandemic? What do people need to do? Dr. Chooks.
There are so many ways to handle panic attack and depression. I would say the first one is when someone is already experiencing panic attack or depression, one has to find the right help or support. And in doing that, one can go for medication, seek Medicare, or which in which you can be prescribed some antidepressants or a bit of drugs that can handle the level of depression in which the person finds himself. And one can go for counseling as well as under Medicare, seeking help, talking to mental health nurses or seeking mental health cares, especially, interacting with them and opening up, opening up your mind, sharing what you're going through and receiving the best and suitable advice. Then one can, secondly, take care of himself. It is, everyone has got a sense of uh, duty of care towards yourself and towards other people. And that duty of care can go in the sense of intimating your social connectivity, connecting to people, finding social network, social support, people that support you, people that generate good feelings, people that generate good ideas in you, that make you to feel good, know your worth, and see meaning into your life. Then one can go for exercises, to exercise yourself in which you give room for good circulation of oxygen and blood in your body and give room for good physical health. That's another way of dealing with uh, panic attack or depression. The third way is education, gaining some knowledge. They say knowledge is power. So, getting involved in TV programs, social programs, reading some interesting books, watching some good movies, listening to motivational speakers that inspire you to think positively and to create a sense of positivity and good feelings. Then one can handle depression if one is experiencing sleepless nights by trying to get more sleep, get more rest, relax your mind, take your mind away from negativity, try to create some thoughts, ideas that generate good feelings that can encourage your sleeping pattern. Then one can build a kind of, sometimes some forgiveness can sink someone into depression. So in a way to get out of that is building a feeling good tribe, what I may describe as feeling good tribe, trying to, coordinate well with people around you. Make sure you generate good psychological environment can nourish your mind to focus on your goals and achieve your possibilities. Then adopting the virtue of forgiveness, which helps you to switch off the nasty voices from quarrels, from rancor in the family, from disputes and wherever, and replace them with peaceful, calm voices that generate good feelings. Then living active lifestyle than living a dormant or passive one. Getting involved into activities. It could be registering with a gym. It could be joining a workout group. It could be joining a hockey club. It could be doing anything. It could be running around, taking physical exercises. Then I could say handling it, sometimes one needs to ask for support, especially when we become overwhelmed with things. There are certain times you reach out to other people. Don't just keep pushing, thinking you're going to be able to achieve it all by yourself. We might do better with a helping hand. So these are some of the ways we can handle depressions, we can handle panic attacks, we can try to uh, program our lives in order to make out something better from it. Thank you
Thank you.
very much.
Yes, I know, I like that because a lot of it is, of course, things that are really practical that people can actually do on a daily basis without so much effort. It's always hard because if somebody is sort of not doing anything, they say the starting point is always the hardest part. So if they just start their routine, whatever that might be, whether it's exercising, walking in the, just taking a walk out in the fresh air, that's a good start for anybody who's just stuck and doesn't know what to do in terms of exercise. And because of the pandemic, obviously, we can't go to gyms and we can't really socialize. So I believe people can make the effort to reach out as well, because that's the one thing I think a lot of people are afraid to do: reach out to people who might help you or listen to you or just be there for your support. Yeah. So, Edith, what would you like to add to that? How can we handle panic attacks and depression during the pandemic?
Yeah, I agree with what Dr. Chitsa said. So what people can do, they can get treatment as soon as possible so that it doesn't get worse, so that their situation doesn't get worse. Also, they can stick to the treatment plan so that they can avoid relapses or even from just getting their situation getting worse. And then a regular physical exercise is also important. Mindfulness, just being in the present moment, because you find that people who have panic attacks are preoccupied with fear. So just being in the present moment is very important, and also wholeness and connectedness. Dr. Nasrin Pashan has written a book on optimizing your well-being, optimizing your well-being. And she says that you cannot achieve your optimized well-being unless you connect with your whole body and as well as the whole world. So you need to connect with yourself, know yourself. So like self-awareness is very important. Know your strengths, know your weaknesses, know your triggers, and also connect with the world around you, connect with nature and the energy around you. Then you can also change your lifestyle. For example, just improving your habits, like sleep habits, your social support, increase your social support, and also get regular exercise, like I said, and then stay away from alcohol, drugs, and smoking, and also excessive caffeine. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Now, I know you've mentioned about getting therapy, getting help, but sometimes people, again, the stigma of do they even know they're really going through something unless somebody points that out to them? That's also another thing that's always a problem. The stigma of seeking help, the fear of people knowing you've got some sort of mental health problem, which is something we've addressed in these shows a lot about how people should just try and overcome that and just seek help because that's the only way out. So, if you've just joined us, we're talking about dealing with panic attacks and depression during the pandemic. Please click, share, comment, invite your friends to watch and ask questions. We are here to inform you, to inspire you, to give you an insight on obviously everything mental health. And as we continue, Dr. Chuk, so what are some of the things a person can do to protect him or herself from panic attacks and depression during the pandemic?
There are so many things one can do to protect himself from panic attack and depression. For some people who are already experiencing panic attack and depression, it will be nice. One, look into self treatment. It could be self help. One can avoid taking much caffeine, nicotines, alcohols, or recreational drugs, and then increase recreations, going for recreation physical exercises. This can help to reduce levels of fears and anxiety in an individual. Then one can get regular sleep, healthy sleep, relaxing your brain, relaxing your body is nice in order to not to give room for depression and panic attack. Practicing relaxation techniques such as deep breathing, yoga, and things like that can also be of great help. Then going for medical checkups from time to time. You go for medical checkups to know whether you have got the symptoms, to discuss with your medical practitioner, make appointments to see the doctor. Then, if one is struggling with work or home activities or family life, in order not to be depressed, one should seek for help. Could be talk to a good friend who has got more experience than you. It could be relate to people who have been successful in that field of life. It could be seeking for professional help, like talking to a psychologist, talking to a psychiatrist, talking to a mental health nurse. Then one could practice if one is already feeling symptoms of panic attack, taking a deep and gentle breath through the nose could help a lot to subdue that feelings. Then taking a deep breath slowly, breathing out slowly from the mouth helps a lot. Closing one's eyes, trying to focus and memorize, thereby trying to do a bit of brain game to sharpen your mind and be a bit of activation of the mind. Some during panic attack or sensing that panic attack is around the corner, it's very helpful for people who are experiencing it to count steadily 1 to 5 repeatedly. This keeps the brain functional and is very helpful to reduce a bit of severe occurrence of panic attack. These are few things one can do to a kind of reduce the occurrence or the effect of panic attack and depression in one's life. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Chooks. I see here we've got a comment from Yandi Noni. Interesting and informative with practical steps, solutions for people to implement. Good job. Thank you so much, Yadi, for that. Now, Edith, what did you want to add to that?
Yeah, thank you. No, this is what I'd say. Right now, especially during this period of COVID-19, people are very fearful. Like they are so preoccupied with fear of what might happen. So, what I'd say is people need to just focus on what they can control because we cannot control the past or the future. It will only give us anxiety and a lot of stress. So, it's important to focus on what we can control. Then, maintaining healthy relationships. Don't stay around negative people or who are always putting you down. And then seeking help is also very important. Talk to someone in case you are going through a difficult time. I don't know why people shy away, but obviously it's because of judgment. But it's important to just seek help, find someone that you can trust and talk to. Yeah, and then it's also important to be mindful, just be in the present moment, uh, connect with yourself, and maintain. Did I say maintain healthy relationships? Yes, and also just exercising, taking time to unwind, so that you're not so stressed even by work. So and keep away from negative news. We are having so much news going on, bad news. So focus on the good things. Don't preoccupy your mind with the negative things. Yeah, and things will get better.
Yeah, thank you. And also think also staying away from media because the media, social media does not help. It actually makes things worse for a lot of people. If you just turn onto social media and all you hear is COVID-19, people dying, people sick, that fear on a daily basis does not help someone with panic attacks and depression. It just makes it more bigger. So I think for people who have the strength to be able to minimize the social media, minimize the television, minimize your radio, any outside influences which are not really helpful, I think it's a good thing to do. But also, Edith, you were saying about people maintaining healthy relationships. How can we maintain healthy relationships during the lockdown when the people who will love the most would be the people maybe who are creating the problem? What can we do about that?
Despite that, uh,
Hello.
everyone is struggling during this pandemic, a lot of relationships have fallen apart. We can still do our best to see how much we can do to put it together. I believe maintaining a healthy relationship, there are some specific keys that could guarantee success. One of them is positive communication. When you communicate positively, clearly, and constructively, irrespective of whoever you are talking to, it generates a kind of positive feelings and elicits a positive response from the listener. So if we can keep our communications constructive, positive, clearly, and uh, a bit of try to generate a kind of feeling good emotion while talking to people, it can go a long way. Then doing our own part of the responsibility as well, because we cannot keep a positive relationship when we are shying away from responsibilities. So if you are dedicated to duty, if in the family place, you do your own responsibility, you dedicate to whatever assignments that is allocated to you, and you do it with a kind of charitable spirit, it generates a sense of feeling good that can promote good relationship.
But Dr. Chooks, that is easy to say, but let's assume, really, let's be real here. There's people in the family who cannot be spoken
Yeah.
to. And maybe we can say some of them are narcissists. So those kind of things, no matter how positive you try, they're always negative and negative and negative. And only being human, it takes a lot of strength to be able to ignore people who are close proximity with you all the time being negative, which is something we see a lot,
Yeah.
especially when we hear about family violence. So, how
Yeah.
do we work around that? Because I see you deal a lot with love and relationships. So, how can people really navigate that scene?
Sometimes it pays to bring a professional so that people can sit down, talk about their differences, and then understand their roles in the relationship. Because a lot of the conflicts we have spring from the idea that people don't have clear idea of what their roles are, or trying to step over other people. So if people are a kind of there is mediation, people understand their positions in their relationship and their responsibilities, and are given a bit of motivation. In most cases, it generates a positive outcome or result.
Yeah, but can I actually also add there? So that is great for people to get help from somebody outside. We know, especially the African people, we don't talk about our dirty linen. So nobody knows what's going on and nobody exposes it, but they just fight and kill each other at home.
Yeah,
What is it they can do? Because we know that's a stigma, just like mental health. People don't seek help.
yeah. In such a situation where people are enclosing themselves, it's a bit difficult to find solution, especially when people cannot agree. That is why if we are not disposed to talk to immediate relatives, then it's very advisable that people seek professional help.
Edith, you wanted to say something.
Yeah, sure. I wanted to say that sometimes it's important to to lead by example, because sometimes it's easier to see the other person but you're not seeing yourself. So also know your toxic traits, because I believe all of us have our negatives. So it's important to know ourselves, know what part you're playing in that situation. Then you can talk about it. It's, yeah, it's just important to talk about it. be the mature person there and try to sit people down and talk about it. And also, people need to know their triggers and just speak about it openly. I think that can really help.
Yeah, thank you. I know this, if you're watching this, I know it's one of the things that is actually really critical during this pandemic, people having family violence and not having an outlet because of people don't want to talk, they're stuck at home. So yes, if you have any questions, you can obviously put them on the Facebook Live, and we'll be able to answer those questions today, or Edith or Dr. Chooks can actually answer those questions as well. Now, we have one more question here. How do we support someone who's suffering from panic attacks and depression during the pandemic? I know Dr. Chooks and Edith, you've said a lot of things that people can do, but how can we support somebody if we knew they were going through panic attacks and depression?
Okay, this is what I'd say. People who are going through anxiety, depression, or even mental disorders need a lot of validation. They need a lot of support. So, understanding them and showing empathy. Don't minimize what they are feeling, even though you're not seeing it, because they are feeling it and it's actually there. So just because you're not seeing it doesn't mean it's not there. So empathy is very important, supporting them and validating them, telling them that you're there for them, and assuring them that you can walk with them through the journey of what they are feeling, and also expressing concern. So if you notice that someone has changed, like in the case of depression, you notice that someone is withdrawing, they are not enjoying activities they used to enjoy before. It's important to express concern and just ask them that you've noticed that something has changed in their lives, and if they are willing to talk about it, express your concern that they can talk about it to you, and then know when to seek help. So you can help them seek professional help when possible, and you can also offer to accompany them there and encourage them to make an appointment with a mental health practitioner. Yeah.
Thank, thank you. Dr. Chooks, what would you like to add to that?
In addition, we can point them in the right direction. Most of the times, people who are undergoing mental health seem to be overwhelmed by the circumstances or situation they find themselves. Uh, Most of them don't think clearly, and they can't focus, they can't concentrate on ideas. So if we can be very empathic, show a bit of compassion to point them in the right direction, try to understand them, not being so judgmental, even if they are they have contributed to their situations going bad. We show them a bit of love and show them a bit of support. I think it can lighten up their brain and their hearts to follow our directions and to uh, get some help. But if they are going through a very difficult situation and we are only being judgmental, telling them because you're alcoholic, that's why you're sinking in depression, criticizing them, it can make them to withdraw from getting help. So being compassionate, being empathic, being charitable to them goes a long way in showing them the light.
Thank you. Thank you. I see here Alicia Nwakwo says that's good from Dr. Max, positive and constructive communication in regards to the topic we're talking about before, about relationships. Thank you, Alicia. Now, the other thing, Edith, you were talking about, people should not minimize how people are feeling. That's a common thing we see with a lot of people. They just go, oh, you'll be okay. That's not a big deal. Oh, everybody goes through that. How do you communicate that to people so people actually, you're talking about empathy, but how do we educate people on that?
Okay. One thing I'd say is that people need to know that nobody signs up for a mental illness. So it's not like people it's just like physical illness. So just because you're not, a mental illness is not seen, doesn't mean that people are not experiencing it. So educating people about mental illness is very important. People need to know that there are different causes of mental illness, and so they need to show empathy to others, knowing that it could also happen to them. So they need to be, yeah, to show empathy and understand that, just putting themselves in that situation, knowing that it could also happen to them or to someone closer to them. And so, yeah, they need to show empathy and compassion towards people. Yeah, so educating them, having advocacy campaigns on mental health. Yeah, I think
Th-
so.
Thank you. So, if there's one thing, Dr. Chooks, you would leave before we finalize the show today, what is one message you would like to tell the viewers today?
I would like to tell the viewers not to think mental health. It's all about getting mad or getting mentally deranged or being on the street running naked. It's an aspect of our life. The little things we neglect can make us to experience adverse mental health. And I would like us to begin to look at how we exchange pleasant traits with each other from a different perspective. Most of the times when we say, "How are you doing?" we always get, "I am fine." Well, if we can say to people, "How are we today?" I always see it as generating the most adequate answer. We are not good. We need help. We need support. And then from there, we can know how best to support each other.
Thank you. Well, we seem to have a question. Nikki Precious asks, how can one handle a family that does not support their dreams? Dr. Chooks.
I, from my own perspective, our families, in most cases, do not support our dreams. If you are convinced of the dreams you are pursuing, that they are in the right perspective, they are very positive, and they are something you are passionate about, even when your family don't support the dreams, you can go about pursuing help, getting connected to individuals that can lead you to that dream. One of the basic things is seeking for knowledge. If they don't support your dreams, you ask questions. Why is it that you are critical about my dream? What 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 do you find as the negative aspect of pursuance of this dream? And this may go a long way to enlighten you, to educate you. Then you try to do a basic background research to know why people are seeing it differently. If you are very convinced you're on the right lane, it might be the knowledge you got is different from how others are seeing it, their own perspective or perception of the dream. Go about, don't be discouraged. In most cases, I've pursued dreams, even the dream, and become successful in them, even when my family is very critical about them. One of them is coming to Australia. I did my master's in London, and I went to Africa and announced to my family I want to relocate to Australia. One of my big sisters said she's an academic, and said to me, "How would you go to England, London precisely to do your master's, and you are descending to Australia? That England is higher than Australia." But my dreams, I had a very beautiful dream to come to this country. Today, she is even telling me, "I'm gonna join you in Australia because you got it right going over to Australia." So these are dreams that can be very critical. At that time, she didn't support me. Other family members were buying her ideas that once you have gone to England, which is seen as the most, enlightened country of the world that colonized every other country, that going to lower countries is like jumping from final year in the university to kindergarten. Well, that
Yeah.
didn't deter me. So pursue your dreams no matter what happens. If you are very convinced, if you have done your research and know you're on the right lane, you must always have critics in life. Don't allow them to deter you from pursuing your goals and dreams.
That's right. Edith, did you want to say something?
Yeah, what I'd say is, at the end of the day, what it's about you. It's all about you at the end of the day. So you need to decide whether you want to live in the shadows of other people, or you want to pursue your dreams and your goals. So as long as they are right, as long as you're on the right path, even though you do not have the support of your family, I think just let them know what your dreams are, then go ahead and pursue them. Yeah.
Well, the truth of the matter is, we dream, and dreams is just the first step. So it could be risky. Sometimes I think the family is thinking, what if you fail? What happens? But they forget one thing: everything in life is risky. Even being alive is risky. So if you don't take that step, you will never know. And I think that's the fear of, like, if you fail, what's going to happen? Everybody's going to talk and say, oh, she failed. But I think failure is a recipe for success, because if you don't fail, everybody who's successful that I know today has failed so many times before they succeeded. So I think just follow your dream, go, the sky's the limit. Don't let anybody limit you, because at the end of the day, you're the only one who can see that vision. Nobody else can. Yeah. So, Edith, what's your message before we go today? What do you want to tell? What do you want to leave with the viewers today?
My message is love one another. That's very important. Just love people and be kind to people. It doesn't cost anything to be kind to people. So love people, be kind, and reach out in case you're facing a difficult situation. Just reach out, find someone you can speak to, and things will get better. Yeah, I believe that things will get better, and people need to know that they are not alone. Even during this time of the pandemic, we are all in together. So, yeah, they are not alone. Thank you.
Yes, definitely. I always say you're not alone. We're all in it together. So we've got, yes, pursue your goals regardless. Yes, Husseina says pursue your goals. That's fantastic. So before we conclude, I know there's so many ways to protect and manage your mental health and well-being. Dr. Chooks, what is one thing you do for yourself on a daily basis to check in with your mental health and to soothe your soul?
I talk to good social support. I've got good social network. So I speak to them. I feel good. We laugh, share pleasantries, share good ideas, and I exercise myself as well.
Fantastic. Edith, what is it you do on a daily basis to check in with your mental health and to soothe your soul?
The first thing I do every morning is prayer and meditation, and then mindfulness, just being in the present moment, and then I also maintain healthy relationships. Yeah.
Yeah, I think really this conversation today has been around maintaining healthy relationships, because that is critical and key to having a healthy life and well-being and mental health. Because if you don't have healthy relationships and you don't have nice people you can talk to, people you can share, maybe not necessarily on a daily basis, but people you can actually a shoulder to cry on, I think people need to go out there, be a friend, and you know nurture those friendships, because I think it's critical that we just get to know each other better. We see each other, we hear each other, understand each other, because I know people just exist, but they don't really build meaningful friendships. And that's maybe another thing. That's why we're afraid of judgment and everything like that. So you can find more about the Global Youth Mental Health Awareness by visiting our website, www.globalyouthmentalhealthawareness.org, or you can email jude@jimhad.org. Now, Dr. Chooks, if people want to find you, how can they connect with you?
If you click on Genuine Love and Family Forum on Facebook, you will definitely get to me. And you can as well reach out to me on Prince Chooks at Facebook.
On
Genuine
Facebook, so
Love
you
and
can.
Family Forum.
Great. So just put that on the Facebook live chat, on the chat, so that people can get your information clearly there. Edith, how can people get in touch with you if they wanted to get in touch with you?
Edith Wanyonyi on all my social media platforms. Yeah, and then I have a question for you.
Yes.
I, I'm just wondering, I'm just wondering how you're coping because last week you people had a minor earthquake. So I was just concerned how are you coping?
Actually, I think when you work on yourself on a constant basis, everything that comes along, you don't react to it, you respond to it. So I find I wasn't afraid of the work. For me, I was not even terrified of the earthquake. I just accepted what was happening. And I thought, you know what, it's just hope for the best, really, because I live in a high rise apartment. So there was no escape that couldn't run out, even if I wanted to. So, yeah, so it's more about also believing in yourself and just maintaining a healthy, well being mental state as well. Because I think that's for me is what I work on a lot. Every day I'm working on my mental state. That's mental health for me is critical. And I believe the way I actually, we're talking about what you guys do on a daily basis. I always believe that when I do a kind deed to someone else, that actually works for me as well. So when I'm kind, when I'm empathetic, when I smile at other people, strangers, that is my fix. That's my medicine. And I think that's for a lot of people. It's just a lot of people when you're not feeling great, that's the hardest thing to do. But I know for sure when you give to others, you're giving to yourself as well. So, yes.
Yeah, sure.
So the earthquake was just another day. Yes, yes. Okay, so thank you so much, Edith and Dr. Chooks, for being here today on the Global Youth Mental Health Awareness Show and for giving us insights on dealing with panic attacks and depression during the pandemic. I want to thank you, viewers, for being a fabulous audience and for watching the Global Youth Mental Health Awareness Show. Until next time, may you all experience the frequencies of love and light. Stay blessed and stay safe. Goodbye for now.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Bye. Okay. We still live.